Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome here to Dr. Alan W. Sugarman Athletic Complex, the setting for today's soccer matchup here between Fort Lee and Riverdale. As we're underway, Dan Long, so happy that you could join us with Dimitri Nanis here on our Fort Lee Athletic Channel broadcast. Riverdale is going to be the roadside in the whites, while Fort Lee is going to be in their home black and orange. Adam Herman in his fifth season at the helm of the Golden Hawks, who check into today's game 5-2 on the season, while Fort Lee is led by head coach Cal Pagano, 3-5 on the season. Last meeting between these two sides came on Halloween a season ago, Riverdale winning that one here in Fort Lee 4-1. And Fort Lee is trying to cool down a red-hot Riverdale side as the Golden Hawks are winners of 4 in a row coming into today's game as they play it up down the near side wing. Trying to play that one forward, Sarah Vanderbeck. And Riverdale, an explosive offensive team that Fort Lee's going to have to contend with here today. Here's an opportunity from up top, and that just goes high and up and over the crossbar. Riverdale averaging 3.3 goals per game this season. It's like I said, they have been outscoring their opponents big time in their 4-game win streak, outscoring their opponents 22-1 in the last 4 contests. As Riverdale got that first shot opportunity of the game just a little too high and off target. As Fort Lee will play that one further down. Played back to the midfield and secured by Riverdale, and now stolen away by Fort Lee. As the Bridgemen trying to win possession really for the first time here today, as that was taken in by Jordana Marcus, number 23. Played back to the defensive side and stolen away by Riverdale. Elena Grenz taking it down the near side. Here comes the senior. With 3 goals and 3 assists on the season, swept away, though, defensively by Fort Lee. Great work on the help defense by Fort Lee as the Bridgemen trying to clean up and that back line. So Jung Won, the senior, came to the rescue. With a quick restart, though, there goes Riverdale, and they'll tap it in for the first goal of the afternoon. Evelyn Vidal had gotten over to her teammate on the far side, and Riverdale punches home the first goal of the afternoon, taking a 1-0 advantage with less than 3 minutes gone by here in the first half of play. Looks like it might have been Grenz, the one who tapped in that finishing goal off the assist from Evelyn Vidal. And there's the 1-0 early lead for Riverdale. This is what Riverdale does. They put constant pressure on opposing defenses' back lines. And they were doing that already here in the early stages of this game. And eventually tapped it home with that crossing pass right in the goal mouth. That again was tapped in by Grenz. Elena Grenz. We believe it was Elena Grenz as we saw that there was a pileup of people in front. So Riverdale takes a 1-0 lead here in the early stages of the first half. Thank you so much for joining us for Fort Lee girls soccer action here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. On a cooler and cloudier afternoon here for soccer in Bergen County. About 66 degrees at the opening kickoff. As Riverdale trying to win back possession again, here come the Golden Hawks. Again, they are in the whites and Fort Lee in their black, orange, and white kits. Riverdale currently ranked 5th overall in North 1 Group 2, and here's a chance for Fort Lee. But the offside flag was up by the official on the far side, so that will squash that scoring opportunity. As waiting and trying to time that one was Jordana Marcus. Marcus, who has 2 goals and an assist on the season for 5 points for Coach Pagano's side. There's a misplay of sorts as that leads to Vidal. Now trying to get it out of the box defensively. It caroms out backwards. As Riverdale will send it a rip shot from distance. That hits off the crossbar, and that's fouled up with another goal. That long-distance shot opportunity nearly found its way underneath the crossbar, and when it caromed back in space, there was no one marking Grenz, who just finished that one off in style with the goal. And Riverdale has taken a commanding 2-0 lead as we're 4.5 minutes gone by here in the first half of play. So a tough start defensively here for the Bridgemen, as Fort Lee has surrendered 2 early goals. As again, we'll suspect that Grenz now credited with both tallies. Again, not sure, not 100% sure based on that first goal, as there was a massive players in front for the tap-in finish. But Elena Grenz did definitely score that second goal. Grenz, who had 3 assists in their recent game against Hasbrook Heights, as that's going to be sent over to the near side. As that will go out of bounds. So Riverdale off to their best start under Adam Herman in his coaching tenure. This is his 5th season in charge of the Riverdale program. Looking for win number 31 in his coaching career. Has led the Golden Hawks to their best start in the first 7 games, winning 5 of the first 7. As that outlet down the middle is intercepted, tapped forward by Alexa Castro. Castro, number 7, has been the dynamic freshman for Coach Pagano and Fort Lee. Castro leading the team with 5 goals and 11 points on the season, as she's going to be lurking in the midfield, trying to pounce on any scoring opportunities. Fort Lee has been shut out in their last 2 games, looking for their first goal production since September 23rd. Here's another opportunity. Grenz with a left foot time. And Grenz again scores. And Riverdale has produced 3 goals already here in the first half of play. Grenz making it look easy, switching that from her right foot to her left foot and having the left-footed finish to take that 3-0 advantage already here in the first half of play. Again, these two sides met last Halloween, with Riverdale winning here 4-1. They're already a goal away from matching that 4-goal total from a season ago. Here's Castro in the midfield. Trying to outlet over to the near side. There's a long ball, and that's finding Grenz again. Can Grenz find the back of the net again? And she does! Unbelievable! And it is 4-0 Riverdale. And again, unless there's another goal scorer on that first goal of the game, Lena Grenz has scored 4 goals for Riverdale in less than 7 minutes of regulation. Just utter dominance for the senior, who came into this game with 3 goals and 3 assists on the season. As I had mentioned, she had 3 assists against Hasbrook Heights. She had a hat trick earlier this season against West Milford. She at least has a hat trick here in this game. And again, from our vantage point in the broadcast area here at Dr. Alan W. Sugarman Sports Complex, could not see whether or not clearly she was the one who tapped in that initial goal to start today's festivities. If she did, then she has 4 goals in this first half alone. As Fort Lee will have the throw-in just underneath us in the broadcast area at midfield. As Lucia Koretsky was trying to send that one down the other way. Marcus now stealing back the possession. To the midfield, left off for Castro. Castro wins the 1v1 opportunity. Castro trying to outlet it over to the near side. And that's parried away and cleared to the near side off of Riverdale last. So it will be a possession and a throw-in upcoming now for Fort Lee. Fort Lee in the midst of a 2-game losing streak Went 6-6 overall last season, advanced to the semifinal round of the Northeast B region before losing to Caldwell in the semifinals. They also won the Big North American divisional title with a perfect 6-0 record. They're tied for first this year in divisional play. This is a crossover game in the Big North Conference, featuring Fort Lee of the American Division and Riverdale of the Patriot Division. And here comes Riverdale again, now playing it wide to the far side, tries the centering ball, and that's going to be knocked down by one. Played up by Ryan Berman now, as that's deflected. Last touch off of Fort Lee, and it's going to be a throw-in for Emma Concannon, as Coach Adam Herman making some substitutions for his side as well. Just approaching 10 minutes gone by, and if you're just joining us, you've missed 4 goals already, as Elena Grenz accounting for the 4 tallies, as she's off the field right now for Riverdale, as that's played back to midfield. So Riverdale continues their electric offensive play this season. Now 27 goals on the season, and this their 8th game of the year. Played wide to the far side and tapped out of play to the far side. Last touch off of Concannon and Riverdale, so it's going to be a throw-in for Fort Lee. That's been the bugaboo of sorts for Fort Lee so far this season, as that's played long and handled by Kira Caslin. 0-0, the sophomore getting the start in net here today. Fort Lee has been victimized in big scoring discrepancies. They're coming off an 8-0 defeat against Ramsey and now have surrendered 4 goals already. They have to try to clean things up in the back line, especially if they're going to be trying to repeat as divisional champions later on this regular season. As Riverdale will step it up and play it over to the near side, trying that through ball. Trying to connect with it was Rachel Kim, number 24. They play it wide to the far side. Vanderbeck leaving it over in the middle of the box. A lot of contact. Riverdale trying to look for a call and a penalty kick, but the referee not calling anything as we play on. Abigail Fearon, who had 10 saves against Ramsey, the sophomore, holding on to it right now in the pink shirt for Fort Lee, as she drop kicks that one away. Taken down by Concannon to the midfield. Laid out to space now. Isabella Bagnato, number 16 in white for Riverdale. Avery So, number 17, on that far side wing for Fort Lee. Has a goal this season for the Bridgemen, trying to win back that possession. Riverdale has just been so strong with these type of passes that have sent their offensive players down the other way. That's a curling shot that's held off of, just skewered out of bounds for a goal kick. As that time it was number 8, Ava Ebnetter, the junior, who was trying to give it a go herself. She had a goal against Hasbrook Heights in the last fixture for Riverdale. Again, Riverdale coming in 5-2, having won 4 straight games on the season in an impressive fashion. Now with the 4 goals here today, Riverdale have outscored, counting Fort Lee right now, their last 5 opponents by a margin of 26-1. This is a team that has garnered the number 10 seed in the overall Bergen County Coaches Athletic Association's tournament. They defeated Hasbrook Heights in their last matchup. That was the opening round game, 6-1. And they will be having a tough test against the perennial Bergen County power Northern Highlands in the next round. Here's Fort Lee with an interception, forcing the turnover, getting it over to the near side, but just getting away from Jordana Marcus. As Caslin, the keeper for Riverdale, came off her line and anticipated any misplay to cut down on that scoring opportunity. There's another long ball, and this time the offside flag is up for Riverdale. So that will negate what could have been another breakaway opportunity for the Golden Hawks. As Fort Lee, I don't know if they've been trying to play the offside trap a bit, but Riverdale has been timing their runs beautifully and just having those long balls from the defensive side, finding people just running in unmarked down the near side. That's where we saw a couple times Grenz getting that opportunity 1v1, and the keeper has no chance at that point. Pass over to the far side, knocked away by Fort Lee, out of bounds. Will be a throw-in now for Riverdale. Coming up on 26 minutes remaining here in the first half, it has been all Atlanta Grenz and Riverdale jumping out to a dominating 4-0 lead. The time here for Fort Lee to try to build up something and try to work themselves out. This was going to be a tough test against one of Bergen County's top teams coming into this one. But this is something that can help this young Fort Lee team develop and find some opportunities for players to gain some scoring confidence as well. It'll be a throw-in now for Livia Kraut, the sophomore. Kraut, number 11, had a goal for Fort Lee in their match against Dumont. A three-way tie for first place right now in the Big North American between Dwight Morrow, Cliffside Park, and Fort Lee, all with identical 3-1 marks in divisional play. Dumont is fourth, and Ridgeville Park still winless in league action. Castro settling it down, trying to play it forward. Taken into the midfield, though. Becnato over to the far side now for Riverdale. Here again goes the long ball. And once again, it's going to be offsides, the call against Riverdale. Back-to-back opportunities have been the long ball negated with the offsides call. Before that, those long balls have found their way to the players, like I said, on the near side and just been a race to the goal. Be a free kick now for Fort Lee as they get this one off. Played to that far side. Splitting through the back line again. Riverdale can race under it. Here's the shot, but that one just rushed a little bit. Off to the near side by Ebnetter. She had a little more time than maybe she was expecting. As once again, Fort Lee's defense have been gashed with these long passes from the back line and the midfield of Riverdale. They've just been leading to countless number of fast break opportunities the other way. Here comes Essler. Anna Essler playing it over. Now to the near side goes Riverdale. A 1-2 connecting on the near side. Ebnetter chipping that one, but again, mishit off of her last. That'll go out of bounds for a goal kick. Fort Lee in the midst of a very difficult part of the season, having played Westwood and Ramsey in their last two fixtures and taking on Riverdale here today. They will get back to divisional play in their next match, a road game against Cliffside Park, a team that they defeated 4-1 here at the Sugarman Sports Complex to kick off the season. As that one looks to be deflected off of the Fort Lee defender and out of bounds, that'll go out for a corner kick. That'll be taken by Riverdale on that far side wing. As Evelyn Vidal will handle this corner kick. We'll have the quick restart. She'll get it up top. That one's going to be chipped in front. It's loose in front. As that time, Farron was off her line and could not get a clean piece of it. Now she scoops that one in, as that was going to be close with Hannah Essler lurking out in front for Riverdale. As the Golden Hawks are looking for what would be their fifth goal of the first half. Played backwards, and now Fort Lee trying to bring it up top. Castro fighting again for possession. This freshman, so impressive this season, but she'll get called for the foul, and it's going to be a free kick now for Riverdale. Free kick is going to be handled by Ryan Berman. Berman, the senior, with 2 assists on the season for the Golden Hawks. We'll have a league matchup with Mawa on their next fixture, as that's deflected before it could get to Fearon. Mawa is the team that sits in first place currently in the Big North Patriot Division with a 3-0-1 mark. Riverdale is third behind Ramsey as well. Pascack Hills and Westwood rounding out that division. So Fort Lee have struggled with those opponents from that cross-divisional matchup in the Patriot division, but again, what matters the most is how you do and how you fare in the American division. These games, they hopefully will get you battle-tested and hardened for when you're trying to contend for a league title in the American, as that rolls all the way back and will be handled easily by Caslin. Caslin, who had 2 saves against West Milford back on September 28th. Near side ball completed up top. Ebnetter down the near side flank. Centers that ball. It's loose in front. Karam to bit, still pinballing inside as Riverdale holding on to the possession. Vidal getting it over to Ebnetter over to the near side. Up top it goes. Kim working it over to the far side. There's a nice 1-2. Just a little too long, though, but mishandled a bit there by the Fort Lee keeper. Fort Lee will have to sweep that one out of bounds to the far side, so nothing coming easily for the Bridgemen right now, with a constant pressure being administered by the visitors from Oradell, as Riverdale is trying to stake themselves out to an even bigger advantage here. Fort Lee doing some good defending the last couple of moments, though. They get it out to space, and now the Bridgemen looking for the clearance past midfield. Ricochets a little bit to the far side. Castro running underneath it to win back possession for Fort Lee. They try that long ball down the far side, but it goes a little too far for Marcus to try to race after it, as So is also in hot pursuit. So stands in front and does a nice job of forcing Riverdale to clear that out of harm's way to the far side in front of their bench. And it's going to be a throw-in now on the offensive side of the field for Fort Lee. Under 19 minutes left to go in the first half of play. Been all Riverdale here in the first half, scoring their 4 goals in the first 8 minutes of the contest. Riverdale again looking for more. There's the long ball, staying onside. The flag is down. Here's the chip shot, and a save made by Fort Lee. As Abigail Fearon doing a nice job of getting a piece of that shot from the far side, denying Evelyn Vidal what would have been her 3rd goal of the season. Best save of the match so far there for the Fort Lee sophomore. That'll go out of play. We'll set up a corner kick into the near side now for Riverdale. In the middle of the box, again, it pinballs away. There's another follow-up shot, and this time just pushed wide to the right. As it looked to be Elizabeth Puentes, number 15, the junior for Riverdale, who got a piece of it as she was looking for her first goal of the season. And now a goal kick going to be taken by the defense of Fort Lee. To the far side, Vidal. Trying to get around the defense. Tried to leave that in front for Rachel Kim, who was trying to run underneath it. Kim has it now in the box. Try that centering pass. And that's again deflected away by Fort Lee, as that'll go out of bounds for another corner kick, as it will be another corner upcoming for Riverdale. Kim was so close to getting it out to Essler, who was right out in front of the goal. Good defending, though, deep in space by Fort Lee, but as you can tell, this field has been tilted in this direction all half long. Riverdale trying to curl that one inside. They had a recipient, who was trying to lurk there in the inside corner, but could not get a piece of it. It will go out of bounds. And possession going back to Fort Lee. A divisional championship a season ago, undefeated in league play, the first divisional title for Fort Lee's girls soccer program in program history. But these are the growing pains of this program going against such established powers as Riverdale, who again will be playing in the second round of the Bergen County tournament on Saturday against Northern Highlands. They'll have to travel to Allendale to take on the Highlanders in that one. Chipped ahead forward. Two different Riverdale players there. Nice defensive work, though, by Fort Lee of getting it out of harm's way, as Haley Volmar, the junior, was also in that area alongside her teammate Hannah Essler. Fort Lee does surrender another corner kick, though, as it's once again going to be Evelyn Vidal handling the corner kick, taken to the near side. Headed back and out of bounds, and once again it's going to be a redo here of another corner kick. Just under 15 and a half minutes left to go in the first half of play. 4-0 the victory awaiting Riverdale right now. Unless Fort Lee can really find a way to garner offensive possession. That's been easier said than done. Riverdale needs to find a way to get the ball up to their midfield, as wholesale changes being made by Riverdale. Coming back in, and now they're going to set up another corner kick. So while Fort Lee has done a nice job in the last couple of moments of defending, each time they're almost content with surrendering another corner kick. This is about the fourth consecutive corner it's going to be taken from this near side by Riverdale. As they play it up top now to Puentes, who plays it back to Grenz. Grenz, the goal scorer in all the tallies here today. She chips that one into the goal as her teammate was waiting to pounce in front. As that looks to be Sarah Vanderbeck, the recipient on the other end of that assist from Grenz. It looks like it might have lofted into the net herself, but Vanderbeck took no chances and was on the other end, just popped that one home for the fifth goal of the first half with 14:33 left to go in the first half of play. So Vanderbeck, the freshman for Riverdale, with a goal, her first goal of the season, to go along with 2 assists. And Grenz with the assist herself for Riverdale. Again, unofficially, I have Elena Grenz with 4 goals and an assist here in the first half of play. As that's outletted to the far side now for Riverdale. Play to the middle for Berman. Berman setting it down the far side to Vidal. Vidal plays it ahead to herself. There's a one-timer opportunity and one of the rare misses here today for Grenz. We try to finish that one home with a left foot. So if that is the case, then Grenz now, with the 4 goals and an assist here today, has 7 goals and 4 assists on the season. Fort Lee clears that one to space. Riverdale's defense waiting there and anticipating, trying to be aggressive at the midfield. Into the midfield goes Isabella Bagnato. The 1-2 played to her, but just a little too far. Cleared down the other way by Fort Lee. Chested down to the near side. Played over to the far side. Goes a little too long. As Gabriela Vargas, freshman number 13, was trying to search for that possession for the Bridgemen. To the back line it goes to Ava Gallagher. Gallagher to Puentes. Puentes with the long ball, this time headed down. by 1. Again, Riverdale trying to split the seams there. Vidal is onside. The flag is down. She goes 1v1 with the keeper, gets past the keeper. The ball trickles by and goes out of bounds to the near side. They're going to say last touch off of Fort Lee. So it will end up as a corner kick taken to the near side. But once again, Evelyn Vidal had time to run down that far side wing. Went 1v1, but just had it slowly meander its way out of bounds to the left side. She did not get that one home for the goal. Here's a chip shot. That rings off the crossbar. A follow-up is poached on and put home again. That's the second time a fortuitous bounce in this first half for Riverdale after the initial shot clanged off of the crossbar. To have a Golden Hawk waiting in front to jump on top of that one and put it home, as it looks to be Vanderbeck's second goal. So Sarah Vanderbeck scores her second goal of the contest, and it looks like Coach Adam Herman is making wholesale changes here. Almost an entire new team on the field right now for Riverdale, as Riverdale has grown their lead to 6-0 with 11:41 left to go here in the first half of play. This has been a tough one here in the first half, to say the least, for the Bridgemen. But for this young Fort Lee side, they have to venture on here and try to find something to grow on. Again, it's been tough sledding of late these last couple of games in the midst of a 2-game losing streak, but it's got to be the case of you just play on, you try to find the good, and try to find something to build on, because, again, even more important than this matchup is the next one, with the road match against Cliffside Park, seeing that it is a divisional contest. And Fort Lee currently tied with Cliffside Park and Dwight Morrow for first place in league play. As this goal kick is going to be taken by Riverdale. Played up to the midfield by Riverdale. Rachel Kim outlets that to the far side. So Riverdale, coming off a 6-1 win against Hasbrook Heights in the first round of the Bergen County Tournament, have produced 6 goals again here this afternoon against Fort Lee. So the offense is firing on all cylinders right now for Coach Adam Herman's Golden Hawks. To the midfield. Played ahead to Essler. Essler, nice diagonal pass down that far side. Riverdale did a nice job of keeping that from going out of bounds on that end line, just to center the pass and force Abigail Fearon to come out and play the ball. To the near side. Essler, the junior, being shadowed down that near side by Kraut. Long ball sent down the other way. Riverdale hesitated a little bit to stay onside, and now flag goes up as this will be possession. And a free kick upcoming now for Fort Lee. Mishit a bit by Fort Lee. Ball is still loose. As Jenna O fanned on the first attempt, and that nearly led to an opportunity. She did a good job of recovering, though, defensively. Riverdale playing it up top. The Golden Hawks, winners of 4 in a row. Well in command here as we're approaching 8.5 minutes left to go in a dark and dreary afternoon. Weather-wise and play-wise right now for the Bridgemen. As Fort Lee trying to, again, build on this experience, knowing they're taking on one of Bergen County's power programs. In the midst of a very tough stretch of games for Coach Pagano's side. But in that culture that he established with the divisional championship a season ago, as that's deflected, last touch out of bounds off of Riverdale, so it's going to be a goal kick out upcoming for Fort Lee. And establishing that culture, you have to see here what they can do to try to build off of this, and it's something that you have to take in just little steps. As it looks like Riverdale is substituted and brought out a new keeper onto the field. But as they always say, especially the old adage in sports, it's a marathon, not a sprint. These games are tough, but you're trying to play for the long haul. Especially now with Fort Lee knowing that they have a chance at a repeat of the divisional title. You have to find the good that comes out of a tough outing such as today. As that's deflected out of play to the far side with under 7 minutes left to go. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, happy that he could join us. Renee Matisic doing the hardest work on top of the press box in the elements here today. Always they say that the broadcast talent are the softest ones. As that one's rolled back to the Fort Lee keeper, Fearon. Well, we certainly had our fair share of rain in the forecast the last couple of days. The rain has held off here today, but a little cooler and starting to feel more like the calendar in the early stages here of October. As Fort Lee was in search of their third win here at home this season. They're 2-3 in their previous games this season at home. As again, that long ball just easily corralled. As that's drop kicked. One to space. Now Elizabeth Silver trying to race after it. Silver, the junior, got a piece of it. Was taken away, though, by Riverdale. Just to the midfield, nice dribbling display by Essler, getting past two defenders before that's cleaned up in the back line by Fort Lee. Avery So trying to chase after it, number 17. So, who, for her career, 43 points here for the Fort Lee girls soccer program, including 16 goals. As that's deflected out of way. The problem for Fort Lee, they've just not been able to get those goals produced in the last couple of games in the midst of their losing streak. They've been shut out in their last two contests and shut out so far here in the first half of play by Riverdale. Played wide now by the Golden Hawks. Trying to curl that one just before it went on the end line. They did just that, centering the ball. But again, good positional defense there and positional goalkeeping by Abigail Fearon, who had 8 saves against Westwood back on September 27th. Pokes over to the near side. Now forward. Here comes Riverdale again. Maneuvering their way up the box, played backwards. Here's a long attempt from distance, and that one by Mia Asierno. Asierno, the junior, had a goal against West Milford for Riverdale this season. That was unselfish play by Hannah Essler. Essler might have had a better shot opportunity, but elected to dribble it a little more topside to then play it back to her teammate. Here's a long ball attempt down the near side, but a little too far for Silver. As Riverdale will go back to gather that possession. Stepping up in the midfield is Rachel Kim. Again, a lot of the reserves on right now for Coach Adam Herman's side, and he has to be thrilled with how his team came out and right from the opening whistle started to administer the constant amount of pressure on the defense of Fort Lee. That led to 4 goals being produced within the first 8 minutes of this game. And Riverdale has not looked back. With under 3 minutes left to go here in the first half, Fort Lee in search of their first goal of the afternoon. So, stepping up on top of it. Played forward, though, by Riverdale. Acierno has her outlet deflected. Takes a nice carom, though, the far wing for Riverdale. Take that shot from space, as that'll go out for a goal kick. So a chance here for a lot of the reserves on the varsity team here for Riverdale to get some valuable playing time and get some varsity experience as well. Riverdale's defense has been as good as the offense has been this season, producing 4 shutouts. But Riverdale has been shut out twice in this season. They lost their opener against Mawa, the team in first place in their division, 2-0, back on September 9th on opening day. That one's rolled in and handled by Fearon. They also were shut out by Pascack Hills 1-0 on September 21st. But again, in this recent stretch of games, no problem scoring for the Golden Hawks of Riverdale, as they've now scored 28 goals in their last 5 games. Kept on sides. Here's Essler, 1v1 with the keeper. Tried to chip it past her initially, and then a save is made. Great save there by Fort Lee, as Essler was 1v1 all by her lonesome with the keeper. But Fort Lee denied her and denied Riverdale what would have been goal number 7. Good hustle on that play by the keeper for Fort Lee to make that initial save and then also make sure that that follow-up attempt would be shot wide. There's a collision by a couple of Riverdale players. Hopefully everybody's okay for Riverdale as that collision ensued. Seems like the Riverdale bench is having a laugh at it, as the players seem to be okay, but again, it was the collision and like a couple of bowling pins. A couple of players in white knocked down each other. As we're coming up on the final 10 seconds of the first half of play. And what a first half for the visitors from Ordell, as Riverdale will take a commanding 6-goal lead with them into halftime. As Coach Pagano and Fort Lee will have to keep the spirits high here as they talk things over and try to make the adjustments needed to see what they can do to at least win the second half. As we'll head to halftime, you're watching Fort Lee Girls Soccer here on the Fort Lee Athletic Department YouTube channel. goal of the season. As Riverdale continues to lead here, pushing their advantage now to 7-0. So again, we're just underway to the start of the second half. It is 7-0 the lead for Riverdale. Time is being kept on the field by the officials. Ryan Berman just scored to make it a 7-0 advantage for the Golden Hawks. Out in front, and there's a nice save with the left hand by Valdez. So Valdez has gotten a piece of the first two shots she's faced. She was unlucky on that first offering that it was still tough enough that with the velocity it caromed off of her and into the back of the net. That time made a nice stop with her left hand. There's a shot from up top as that whistles wide to the mark by Vidal. So Berman adding her name to the scoring list here this afternoon for Riverdale. Berman scoring her first goal of the season, the senior defender. Riverdale scoring 6 in the first half, 1 to begin this second half of play. As Riverdale is on their way to improving to 6-2 on the season, having won 5 in a row. Well, Fort Lee still struggling here. There's a chip shot. It goes off of the crossbar. Again, the follow-up. That's the third time here today that Riverdale has hit a crossbar and had a fortuitous bounce carry him right back to an open Riverdale player. That leads for the poke-in goal by Hannah Essler. As the Golden Hawks have struck twice here in the opening stages of the second half. They jumped up to a 4-0 lead 8 minutes into that first half of play. And they have not looked back, with a lot of their reserves also seeing plenty of time here today. And kind of the whole adage of when it rains, it pours. Even when Riverdale does not find the back of the net and they hit the crossbar, they have gotten the best bounces possible to get right back to another player charging in to just finish off with a tap-in finish. Play diagonally to the far side, but out of bounds. Shara Van Praag, the junior, was trying to outlet that one to the far side for Riverdale. So Riverdale will, again, be able to enjoy this one, but know that they have a big matchup coming the next time they play back at home in Oradell. On Thursday, they will play host to the Thunderbirds of Mahwah, the team that is unbeaten in divisional play and currently occupying first place overall in the Big North Patriot Division. A team that defeated Riverdale 2-0 in the season opener for both teams way back on September 9th. Essler, who had the last goal, outletting it to the far side. Intercepted as Fort Lee plays it up past the 30. Again, if you're wondering why you don't see the scoreboard is not being used right now. The time is being kept on the field by the two officials here in the second half of play. Riverdale led 6-0 at halftime. They've increased that to 8-0 right now, with 2 goals scored in the second half. Essler. Played over to the far side. Fort Lee close to intercepting that with Vargas getting a foot on it. Gabriela Vargas, part of that freshman connection with Alexa Castro, playing up top. As Coach Pagano trying to get some of his reserves, some varsity playing experience as well here today. Over to the far side, Silver trying to win back possession. She tips it out of bounds in front of the Riverdale sideline, and will be a throw-in now for the visitors. Riverdale is ranked 5th overall in North 1 Group 2 power points coming into today's action. The number 1 team being Ramsey, number 2 seed being Sparta. So right now, if the playoffs started today, Riverdale would be the number 5 seed in that North 1 Group 2 section. This year, Fort Lee is playing in North 1 Group 3. As there's a race for the loose ball, and Riverdale getting underneath it. They'll take the shot, and a nice save there by Valdez. Valdez with a couple of saves since coming into this game to start the second half for the freshman. Fort Lee, as I mentioned, is in North 1 Group 3. That's where some of the powerhouse programs reside in the Garden State. Fort Lee ranked 15th coming into today's contest. Top 16 teams would qualify for the postseason. Ramapo, the statewide power, currently residing atop the PowerPoint standings. Wayne Hills would be the 2 seed, and Wayne Hills would be the potential first-round opponent if the playoffs started today for the Bridgemen. But Fort Lee knows they're going to have some work to do in the schedule. They got to start winning some games to assure themselves a spot in the playoffs and being in one of those top 16 positions. Riverdale wins back possession over to the near side. Played over by Haley Volmar. We apologize for some of these players we don't have for Riverdale on the varsity roster, that they're kind of just those reserves that are coming in and playing right now. Here's an interception and a chance potentially for Fort Lee. They're looking at the officials on the far side, wondering where's the call, thinking that that could have been a push and a foul. Good defending there by the Bridgemen, who clear it out to the far sideline. It's going to be a throw-in now for Riverdale. Played along down that far sideline as Fort Lee tries to race after it with Jenna O, the senior who had an assist against Ridgeville Park on September 23rd. Again, the time is being kept on the field by the officials. Fort Lee will fall for the 3rd consecutive time, but again, while this is a game that they obviously would have loved to have been able to compete in and had an opportunity against one of the top teams in the county, they have to get their minds refocused and get prepared for that next game against Cliffside Park, who they bested 4-1 to kick off this 2021 season back on September 9th here at home. Since that point, Cliffside Park has won 3 straight games in divisional play. So if Fort Lee has any hopes of repeating as American Division champs, they want to have that win on the road against Cliffside Park. That's their next game. You can't take what you've done here today into your next game with you if it's that bad taste in the mouth. And Fort Lee's going to be trying to build off of what they've learned here today and what they've learned, quite frankly, through a very demanding stretch of games against teams from the Big North Patriot Division in Westwood and Ramsey and now Riverdale here today. You don't want to lose lopsided games. You don't want to lose, period. But if you can gain something from those losses that help you win games down the road, then it'll be worth it. As subs being made for both teams. Again, a little bit of rain coming down just a little bit as it's been a cooler type day, gray clouds all afternoon long here in early October. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, and Renee Matisic, happy that you could join us on this Fort Lee Athletic Department production on YouTube. Your broadcast home for the Bridgman athletic season in this 2021-2022 athletic year. Ball is loose and just left behind and then hesitated a little bit. Jenna O does get a piece of it. As Riverdale just playing around the perimeter to the near side. Wicked it up, and there's O again, getting underneath it, trying to get past that last defender. O trying to win potentially a corner kick, but Riverdale does a nice job of marking her, coming back and making the play. As Riverdale playing it to their back line and playing it to space to the far side. Fort Lee chipping that one out of bounds. Last touch off of, they'll say, Riverdale. So a throw in now for the Bridgmen. So again, the road ahead for Fort Lee after this one. They will travel to Cliffside Park on Thursday, then also travel to Woodridge on October 8th on Friday, before coming back home for back-to-back league matches against Dumont and Dwight Morrow next week. And then we'll finish off the regular season on the road at Ridgefield Park and then conclude at Mawa. For Riverdale after this one, they'll head home to host Mawa before traveling to Ramsey and Westwood, getting back home to host Pascack Hills before finishing up on the road at Holy Angels, Cliffside Park, and Nutley. And again, on Saturday, they will be playing Northern Highlands in the second round of the Bergen County Tournament. The 7-10 matchup in seeding. Northern Highlands, the number 7 seed, and Riverdale, the number 10 seed. Ramapo, the top team in the tournament field this year. As Riverdale will send that one down the near side. Here's a full-on sprint to see who wins the possession. Winning that foot race and just knocking it out of play is Livia Kraut. Kraut, the sophomore who scored a goal against Dumont. And that looks to be the final whistle this afternoon, as that will do it here from Dr. Allen W. Sugarman Athletic Complex, as Riverdale will finish up this one in style and defeat Fort Lee by a final score of 8-0. So thank you, everybody, for tuning into this edition of Fort Lee Girls Soccer Action here on the Fort Lee Athletic Department's YouTube channel. We'll bring you all the coverage the next time of the girls' season on October 14th as Fort Lee will play host to Dumont. And join us tomorrow for our broadcast coverage of Fort Lee girls volleyball action. As once again, you'll be able to find all the action and all the broadcast coverage starting at 4:15 here on YouTube. So for everybody here from Fort Lee, I'm Dan Long saying so long and thanks for watching Bridgman Soccer. Take care, everybody.